we're just talking to Caleb, right? How?
Johnson.
Yeah. How gratifying is the right word? Gratifying is it? You put in so much work as an offensive line. How gratifying is it to see the guy you're blocking for get so much national recognition? And also, he pushes back and he kind of says, "It's all my offensive line." How gratifying is that?
Obviously, it feels good to have your running back get in the end zone as many times as possible. So it feels ultimately better to win games, and that's the goal each week. I wouldn't say it's about getting national recognition. It's more about just winning football games. And if you worry about yourself, you worry about getting better as an individual, and as a unit, as an offensive line, that's going to come with it. So that's not really our focus. It's winning games, pushing people back. So
Speaking of getting better as an offensive line, I know you can't sum up 3 years in one answer, but generally, how have you guys, the five of you, stuck together through some tough times in 2021 or in 2022, and basically with the same group you had last year and 2 years ago, turned into one of the better offensive lines in the country?
that's called development. And you see that as a problem now, ultimately, in college football. There's a lot of guys want to transfer to see if they are not getting playing time first, second year. They're leaving to go somewhere where they can play, and ultimately, by that time, they're pretty decent players, so they can put some stats up. But it's just that's what college football is all about, is developing guys. Even if you go to the NFL, you're still getting developed when you're there. So it's all about being able to improve yourself, and then if you can keep the same 5 guys or 7, 8 guys and have those options as backups too, and make an all play, it's perfect for an offensive line. They're bound to get better.
Is that
if you have the right mindset, right attitude, and you have a good coach that tells you what you need to work on and doesn't hold back and is honest. Because when we're in an offensive line room, there's no dishonesty, there's no sugarcoating anything. If you're not getting the job done, you're not getting the job done. Ultimately, I think that's helped with our success this year and the past 3 years, just getting better and better. So.
Is that something, you can be honest, is that a mentality you always had, or was there moments where you doubted that, where you doubted, I need to just develop and keep at it? And if so, is that something Coach Barnett or Coach Fan?
You're saying, go somewhere else?
Not necessarily go somewhere else, but just doubting yourself and your ability.
Well, you go to high school and then you get recruited to go to college. You're the top dog at your high school. You're the guy there. And then when you come here, you're back to being a freshman again. You realize that you're not all that, and I'm sure there are guys out in the country where they're still all that when they come out of high school, but for Iowa, that's not usually a thing. Usually it's you need a few years under your belt to understand what it all takes, and ultimately as a senior or older guy, it's I figured out what I need to do to push myself even further and help other guys around me who are younger now. So, yeah.
Beau, are you looking forward to seeing Coach Brian Ferentz this weekend in Maryland?
Yeah, I haven't talked to him too much, but
Sure.
It's always good to see him, and I respect the guy, and glad he was my coach. So, yeah.
Cool.
What do you see from Maryland defensively?
They got big guys. They got good front. They got length. They got playmakers, and we treat it like every other offense or defense in the country. It's just we got to do what we got to do to win the game. We got to be successful in plays whenever we need to be, and that will help everyone else, the skilled players and semis. So ultimately, I don't know if people understand real defense, but they're good. They can make plays, so we just got to shut that down, run the ball on them, and keep them from stopping the run. So.
Beau, has it been difficult, or has it changed your job at all, specifically as an offensive lineman, the cycle that you've kind of gone through with quarterbacks because of all the injuries and stuff like that, having Cade and then Brendan and then Jackson?
No. Offensive line is offensive line. And
Sure.
You go to film, you watch offensive line, you're not looking at any other position. So if I can improve myself and the other 4 can improve themselves, it just helps the team. So,
How have you grown this year? Being able to play more and being healthier.
Well, it's always fun to get out on the field, and more experience, you get more prepared to go out for any type of challenge. When you see teams start moving a bunch, throwing a bunch of stuff at you, a bunch of pressures, and different looks, you know that you've got them. You know you broke them. You know that they're worried, and that's what's been fun is seeing teams kind of scramble and trying to improvise or not do what their base stuff is just because they can't stop the base stuff. And so just having that experience starting and playing more games, and I did my freshman, and I guess I played 10 games in sophomore year, but last year it's been fun to just see the development of everyone and how we can improve and how anything can come at us and we can take care of the business. So
Has it been good having Cade back?
I don't know. Coach Ferentz, we'll
Okay.
talk about that. Yeah.
Sure.
So.
Okay, cool. Thanks, Beau.